I'll go ahead and call the meeting to order. According to the agenda, we're supposed to establish a quorum, and I don't know exactly what that is, but I'm assuming that
The quorum
whoever
is
showed up.
30% of the voting members.
Oh, okay.
And so everyone on here except the engineers is a voting member. So it'd be
Okay,
two and then.
Okay.
So we're okay.
okay. Introductions, I guess we'll just go around the group. I'm Roy Heald with the Security, Water and Sanitation Districts.
Yep, I'm Kevin Brown with Cherokee Metropolitan District.
And Werner, PPACG.
Jared Verner, PPACG.
And
Michael Katalinich with JVA.
I'm Michael Ledoux with JVA.
Record this.
And I'm Connie King with law firm of Connie H. King LLC. I represent security up Monument, Lower Fountain.
I'm going to call out Walter. Looks like you're unmuted.
Yep, Walter Reeves, Woodman Hills Metro District.
Kat, if you want to go next.
Kat McGarvey, El Paso County Public Health.
Tom. Or Jeff.
Yeah, Jeff Munger, Cherokee Metropolitan District.
All righty.
okay. All right, next item is approval of the agenda. Can I get a motion to approve the agenda, or if there's any changes that need to be made, please let it be known. Go ahead, Kevin.
Changes.
Oh,
Can I move on that?
yeah, go ahead.
All right.
Please.
I move to approve last month's agenda, or approve this month's agenda.
And I'll second it. All in favor of approval of the agenda, please say aye.
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 Opposed?
Aye.
Okay. Public comments and presentations. Now we have the site application from Cherokee. Is there any other public comment that anybody would like to make at this time? All right, moving on to the site application for Cherokee Metropolitan District. I don't know who wants to lead that. Kevin, is that you or?
I think we'll probably throw it to JVA, but if you have any questions about kind of our larger scale planning and other things that we're working on, I think Jeff or I could answer that.
Okay,
I think Michael is going to take the lead on this. Just give a brief overview of the project and then see if there are any questions.
Yeah, I can kind of give a high level summary here of the project. So yeah, you've got the site application open there. So this project is for the Lift Station 1, Cherokee Metro District's Lift Station 1 at the Sand Creek facility, which is next to the Peterson Space Force Base. So the project will be to replace the existing Lift Station 1 with a new Lift Station 1. The original was approved under site application in 2005 for a design flow of 1,800 GPM. So the new lift station will have the same design flow. And we actually received site app approval from CDPHE a few days ago. So the existing lift station is nearing the end of its useful life and is in need of replacement. It also has a few design issues that the district wants to correct. It's kind of a buried underground vault type lift station with confined space. So the new lift station will be suction lift pumps, which are going to be above grade, which will eliminate confined space. And then the existing lift station also has a very large pond that is being used for the wet well. And the new lift station will have a concrete tank as a wet well, which will be smaller and also covered to help mitigate odors. And then we'll also have a mixing system in the new wet well, which will keep the wastewater mixed, which will also help prevent odors. The existing wet well will remain in place. to be used for emergency overflow storage. And we will be connecting the new pumps to the existing force main, which travels about 13 miles east before discharging to a gravity manhole outside of the Schriever Space Force Base. After which it flows by gravity to the water reclamation facility. So yeah, that's the kind of high level summary of the project. Are there any questions?
Michael, so the site application was presented to the Lower Fountain Water Quality Management Association. I think it was late last month, and that group recommended forwarding a favorable recommendation onto, I think, this group. Likewise, I understand that the SARC met recently to discuss this site application, and I don't know if there's any members of the SARC that are on this, that are in this meeting right now.
Mr. Chair, if you don't mind, I jump in. SARC did meet 2 weeks ago and they also recommended approval. All of the SARC members are invited to be part of the water quality committee as well. So if you have any questions on those minutes, I'm happy to provide them, but that was the only thing they met on, and they did recommend approval to move on to WQMC.
So there were no unresolved or questions asked during the SARC meeting?
Nope.
Okay. All right. Well, I guess at this point, if there's no further questions, I'd entertain a motion. And so this motion would be to forward a favorable recommendation to the PPACG. Is that correct? Because they will then act on this.
Correct. They will, this committee would then recommend that this get forwarded on to the PPACG Board of Directors to review, and then if they recommend that it go on to CDPHE, our Executive Director, Andy Gunning, would sign that, and we would forward that on to the applicant, and they would send it to CDPHE. So the next step would be our board meeting in January, which I believe is the 11th. Yeah.
Michael, I guess I was, I'm not sure I understood what you said at one point. I think you said that CDPHE had already approved the site application, or can you clarify that for me?
Yeah, so we got the site application approval letter from CDPHE on December 19th. So that was what, Tuesday or Monday? And it's just a 2-page letter that basically says that the site application was approved. There's another step in the process. I mean, we still have to get all the signatures that we are asking for, and we still have to get the basis of design report approved by CDPHE. But this is kind of the first step in that process.
And I might add, I think the reason why we got the approval from the state ahead of getting all of our review agency signatures is just the time that has elapsed from initial notification of all review agencies. I expect if there were any issues raised from review agencies, we would address them accordingly. But it's a pretty straightforward project, and so I suspect that's why we actually got our site app approval from the state before getting all of our agency signatures.
Okay. I guess with that, I'd entertain a motion to provide a favorable recommendation to the full PPACG. And in fact, I'd make that motion. So if somebody wants to second it, that'd be ideal.
Am I eligible to vote on this? It says Cherokee's own project.
It's probably I would think that would be a conflict.
Yeah.
So it'd be better if,
Formally recuse myself and throw it to the other folks on the call.
yeah.
I'll second your motion.
Thanks, Kat. Moved and seconded, all in favor, please say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay. Next item on the agenda is the
Thanks.
consent items, which appear to be just the approval of the minutes from the September 28th meeting. Would anybody like to consider making a motion to approve those minutes from September 28th? Go ahead, Kevin.
I'll move to approve the minutes.
Thanks, Kevin.
Yeah.
I'll second. All in favor, please say aye.
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 Opposed? All right, the minutes are approved. Informational items, the CDPHE grant update and discussion. Ann, do you have something for us on that?
I do. Let's go ahead, Jared, and pull up the watershed pre-planning report. I have 3 items that I'll do just a brief overview on. The first one's going to be the watershed pre-planning report that was due as a deliverable to CDPHE on December 15th. So it's been submitted to CDPHE, but not formally accepted yet. And
Make sure it's the right document or no?
Hmm?
Is this the right document?
that would
Sorry.
look like this. That's one of them. Not quite.
Replanning there, there we go. Sorry, guys.
That's okay. Anyway, this is a summary, kind of an overview with some background material on, the water, the planning process and PPACG's role in it. So I stepped through some of that. I'm not going to go through all of it because I've given numerous summaries of this and presentations throughout the year. And I'll check with Krista Trindle and see if it's okay to release this information. It should be. So I can send what I submitted to all of the board members once I kind of clarify that with her. So basically, in a nutshell, I went over what our next steps are. We just finished year 1 of a 3-year grant. The year 1 in 2022 was to cover pre-planning activities and explore what we're going to do with it as far as PPACG is concerned. And so I brought this to the Water Quality Committee several times, and also to our member 208 planning organizations in the state. We've been meeting every other month all year long to kind of compare notes and help each other out in this process. So there's 4 of us in the state, and all 4 of us are doing some level of pre-planning report that goes back. Some are doing different aspects in their planning report and what they're going to look at. But for PPACG, we have decided to kind of break this up. We'll have one 9-element EPA plan with basically 3 chapters, 1 for each county. And we'll do a further study of the E. coli 9-element plan that El Paso County participated in through the Fountain Watershed District. That was done in 2019, and with discussions with AFCURE and others, it was decided maybe the best route would be to do a little deeper dive into that existing E. coli plan. So we're going to pursue that with more meetings and more information coming over the next year in 2023. For Teller County, I met with CUSP folks, and I still need to arrange meetings with their Board of County Commissioners and with probably the city engineer for Woodland Park to make sure we're addressing watershed concerns or questions in the entire county. But when I talked to CUSP, they want to look a little more at Trout Creek. And I think that might be for nutrients, but I'll have to go back and double check my notes. But we'll do a little deeper dive in Teller County as we proceed in 2023. And then for Park County, I met with them this fall as well. I met with Tom and we're gonna look at protecting, and this is based on urban growth concerns. Protecting their water source inlets for both Alma and Fairplay. So this 6-page report will have some addendums. Krista wants me to add in some pictures and maps that I created. So I'll have some addendums to go with this when I send it out to you all, which I'm expecting to be able to do maybe next week. I'll check with her. Then they'll have some additional attachments and I'm just going to put it in as appendices. So that's the pre-planning efforts for 2022, and then we'll look into 2023 and 2024 to finish out the 3-year plan and write a 9-element report that'll go back to EPA and the state. Any initial questions on this? Is kind of quick, but thought I'd see if you have any comments or questions.
All right. Thanks, Ann.
We'll take a quick look then at the 604B final report. We've been doing this one for years. This is our template, our base for all things water quality here at PPACG. This is a standard report that goes back to the state on activities that we've performed throughout the year and the deliverables associated with those. So I think the most notable one is on page 2, where we give a summary of the site applications that we've received, and that's in a very condensed spreadsheet. My spreadsheet that I used I couldn't make it fit properly, so there's a little bit of an error on there with what's behind there, but essentially we saw 10 different site applications. All of them were able to move forward, and we're still working on the last one. I went ahead and noted it, even though it won't get formally approved till January, but we didn't have any issues with any of them that weren't resolved. So these all moved forward and have been formally approved, except of course the one we're hearing today. And so the rest of this is just sort of like I say, a quick summary of the 604B grant deliverable. The last thing I want to go over quickly is let's see here. Let's just go ahead and go over this one. So in November, we have what's called a kickoff meeting for grants going forward into 2023. And this particular report was what Krista put together and summarized based on that kickoff meeting. This will be effective in the dates highlighted in yellow. And this goes over, I think, just mostly out of interest for you all. I think most of you have these numbers, but on page 3, it breaks down the funds that PPA will be receiving and exactly what those are going to go towards. There have been meetings kind of going over this. I think the one that I want to make sure you understand the most is that the $8,358 for emerging contaminants is we're basically a pass-through. So that money will go directly to be used by AFCURE for studying PFOAs, PFAS, and we will work out between our financial team and AFCURE's how that money gets transferred, but that's the one that we've discussed a little bit this late summer and fall. So that money is actually, kind of, like I say, it's a pass through and won't really come into PPACG's pockets. The others will be new grant reporting requirements for climate change, environmental justice, and then more for watershed planning. So there'll be a lot more that I'm gonna report out on in 2023. We've basically got 4 different grants with 4 different types of expected deliverables that'll go back to the state. So more to come. Be a busy year. Do y'all have any questions on any of that?
All right.
That's it.
Thank you, Ann, for the report. Member entity announcements. Does anybody have any announcements or information they'd like to convey?
We're looking at having our grand opening of our new wastewater plant in February or March, so stay tuned for that. Be excited to have just about everyone come and check it out.
As soon as you clear out all the tumbleweeds. Huh?
Yeah. Might also be a grand opening of something to deal with that, but we'll see.
All right. Thanks, Kevin. I guess at this point, I'll just say, those of you that did not attend in person missed out on Horseshoe Donuts. So thanks, Ann.
Yeah.
That's all it takes to get me down here. And I did want to thank Ann for the work that she's done over the past year and kind of herding the cats and keeping this going. And Jared, thank you for doing what you've done today. That's very helpful, and I think it's made the meeting run more smoothly. Merry Christmas to everybody, and hoping for a happy 2023. As Ann said, it sounds like it's going to start off just about like 2022
Yeah.
will end, but that's good. So
I think the only other thing is just noting when the meeting is in
Right.
January.
So next meeting is scheduled for the 25th of January, 2023, 9 a.m. If you want a horseshoe donut, be here. Well, I hate to commit you to that.
Oh, no,
but,
I'm committed. I'll be bringing donuts.
and other than that, if nobody, does anybody have any additional comments, questions, concerns? All right, we'll adjourn the meeting at 9:27.